average age of a child diagnosed with cancer is just 6 years old, and just this year, close to 15,000 kids will be diagnosed.
And then when you hear of the billions of dollars in federal funding, a small fraction of that money goes towards pediatric cancer research. So we wanted to figure out why. Brooke Cash explains the real cost of childhood cancer and the stories of families advocating for change.
This is Bree Brown.
This is my daughter, Shelby Scanlon.
She wanted to become a music therapist to help other kids that were going through the same things that she had.
She wanted to be a child oncology nurse.
This is hard. Thank you. She died at 15. You know, she probably would have lived to be 80 or 90 years old.
She was 18 years old when she passed. She was my only child, so she was everything for me, no question.
It's the leading cause of death by disease in children. Each year, more than 15,000 will find out they have cancer before their 20th birthday. Close to 2,000 will lose their fight. But there is good news. With the help of clinical trials and advancements in immunotherapy, more than 80% of children with cancer are surviving it.
What science is poised to do today, we couldn't have imagined even like 7 to 10 years ago.
But it comes with a cost.
We need to invest more, and we need to invest more quickly.
Last year, the amount of federal money spent on pediatric cancer research totaled $413 million, a fraction of the $5.9 billion spent by the National Cancer Institute. The rest went toward adult cancer and laboratory research, which can also have great impacts on kids. The NCI says its goal is to fund the best science with the greatest potential to reduce the burden of cancer, relying heavily on scientific peer review.
I think we all need to step back because we talk about pediatric cancers as one entity, and it's really not. It's 100 diseases.
The incidence rate is a big part of where this money goes, and the thousands of pediatric cancer cases are considered rare compared to the 1.7 million new adults battling it every year.
Statistically, it is rare, but when it affects you and your family, it feels like it is the biggest monster, the main focus.
For Emily Fox, it was during Mother's Day weekend when she heard the words,
"We think your baby has cancer."
3-year-old Boone now plays with his toys on the 7th floor of Norton Children's Hospital.
He loves to play farm.
It's a small distraction from the nearly 6 months of intense chemo treatments for acute myeloid leukemia. While he's responding well now,
I would like to see my son not have to be treated with drugs that are decades old. I'd love for there to be new research and new protocols and new drugs.
She, like so many pediatric cancer families, argue the numbers of cases cannot be the main factor in how funding is distributed. You have to look at the number of years lost to cancer, too.
When you're diagnosed as an older adult, the years that are robbed from you, while those are still very valuable, the length of pediatric cancer and the years that are robbed from these children are longer and bigger and have a huge impact.
There are 70 potential life years lost on average when a child dies of cancer, compared to about 15 for adults.
It's very personal. It's very personal for people, and it should be.
I just want more awareness. I just want people to care more about it.
I advocate a lot for childhood cancer, and it's not going to do me any good. It's not going to bring my daughter back. But my hope is that funding will continue to increase and that other families will have more promising futures.
My name's Matthew Walker, and I'm 16 years old. I want to be a welder or a professional paintballer.
Bentley is my 5-year-old little boy. What do you want to be? Fireman. He says he wants to be a firefighter and a construction worker because he said he'll fight the fires and then he'll rebuild the houses for the people that had their houses burned down.
But today, these kids are fighting a different battle.
He was diagnosed July 31st in 2017.
I was diagnosed August 12th of 2015.
And only one thing is going to end it.
Research is paramount. Just this year, he benefited from research that was done the year before, that wasn't even available the year before that.
I'm hoping that we could find a cure for cancer. I'm hoping that we eventually have it to where it's free and that we don't have to pay to stay alive, because none of us asked for cancer in the first place.
In Louisville, Brooke Hash, WHAS 11 News.
And beyond the money spent by the National Cancer Institute, local hospitals are stepping up to help fill the funding gap. Locally, nearly $10 million is provided for pediatric cancer research from grants from the Children's Hospital Foundation and the University of Louisville.